Mantras of our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says Krishna, however, superimposes a higher law, also that work must be done without desire, without attachment to any fruit or reward, without any egoistic attitude or motive, as an offering or sacrifice to the divine. With always our love and blessings, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, Book 3, the Book of the Divine Mother, Canto 1, The Pursuit of the Unknowable, page 345, last line. A being intimate and unnameable, a wide, compelling ecstasy and peace, felt in himself and all, and yet ungrasped, approached and faded from his soul's pursuit, as if forever luring him beyond. Near it retreated, far it called him still. Nothing could satisfy but its delight. Its absence left the greatest actions dull. Its presence made the smallest seem divine. When it was there, the heart's abyss was filled, but when the uplifting deity withdrew, existence lost its aim in the inane. The order of the immemorable planes, the godlike fullness of the instruments were turned to props for an impermanent scene. But who that mightiness was, he knew not yet. Impalpable, yet filling all that is, it made and blotted out a million worlds, and took and lost 1,000 shapes and names. Words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, taken from the collective works of our Lord Sri Aurobindo book, The Mother with Letters. Topic: 3 rules for remaining open to the Divine Mother. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, nothing is more dangerous than the influences of the physical mind trying to build up conclusions upon outward appearances. They have 9 chances out of 10 of being false. One must learn to distrust hasty conclusions from surface appearances is not the first condition of true knowledge, and learn to see and know things from within. You must ask how to stop these moments. To begin with, observe 3 rules. First, keep always confidence in the Divine Mother's care and love. Keep always confidence in the Divine Mother's care and love. Trust in them and distrust every suggestion, every appearance that seems to contradict. Second, reject immediately every feeling, every impulse that makes you draw back from the Mother, from your true relation with her, from inner nearness, from a simple and straightforward confidence in her. Third, do not lay too much stress on outward signs. Your observation of them may easily mislead you. Keep yourself open to her, feel her within your heart, the inner heart, not the surface vital desire, but the heart of the true emotion. There you are more likely to find her and be always near her in yourself and receive what constantly she is working to give you. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, if you bring somebody between you and the mother, it is bound to give trouble. Direct relation with the mother is the next subtopic. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says the direct relation with the Divine Mother is always open to you and it is there whenever you can feel it, for it is a thing of the inner being. Whenever you go deep within yourself, you find it. It has to come out and govern the outer nature and life. That is why, says our Lord, I want you to give time for going inside and for inner progress in the sadhana. The true relation with the mother thought of establishing was of two friends and fellow workers in her work with X. It was never intended that she should be between you and the mother. In Y's case, there was a help to be given to you that you might not be carried away by the attacks from which you suffered and might have time and support till you could reach a point at which you could seek the mother's presence within you and with you. That you can do, and there is no reason why anyone should be asked to intervene in any way. Our work is directly in you, upon you, and not through anyone else. And Lord Sri Aurobindo says, do not think whether people agree with you or do not agree with you, whether you are good or bad, but think that Mother loves me and I am the Mother's. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, do not think whether people agree with you or not, whether you are good or bad, but think that the Mother, the Divine Mother loves me and I am the Mother's. If you base your life on that thought, everything will soon become easy. It is because of the thoughts about others, your badness, that you feel far from the Mother. All the time she is very near to you and you to her. If you take the position I told you and make it the basis of your life, the Divine Mother loves me and I am hers, the curtain would soon disappear, for it is made of these thoughts and nothing else. It was your mistake to listen to what people say about you and attach any value to their foolish chatter. It is what the Divine Mother says that is true and matters, and not what people say, and not what people say. If you listen to what people say, you will lose the touch with the Divine Mother's consciousness. It is because of that these thoughts have come back on you about your badness and the rest of it. For many days you had peace and joy and freedom from the restless mind, and you had the psychic opening. Now you must go back to that and do as you were doing before. Turn to the Divine Mother only. Turn to the Divine Mother only and let her consciousness and her will work in you. Then you will recover what you had got, silence the mind, and be free. Work for the Mother done with the right concentration on her is as much sadhana as meditation and inner experience. Those who do the work for the Mother in all sincerity are prepared by the work itself for the right consciousness, even if they do not sit down for meditation or follow any particular practice of yoga. It is not necessarily to tell you how to meditate. Whatever is needful will come out of itself. If in your work and at all times you are sincere and keep yourself open to the Mother. Necessity of work in integral yoga is the next subtopic. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says to go entirely inside in order to have experiences and to neglect the work. The external consciousness is to be unbalanced one-sided in the sadhana for our yoga is integral. So also to throw ourselves oneself outward and live in the external being alone is to be unbalanced and one-sided in this sadhana. One must have the same consciousness in the inner experience and outward action and make both full of the Divine Mother. It is not well to spend the whole time or the greater part of the time in meditation unless one is very strong in mind, for one gets into the habit of living in an inner world entirely and losing touch with the external realities. This brings in one-sided, inharmonious movement and may lead to disturbance of balance. To do both meditation and work and dedicate both to the Mother is the best thing. And Lord Sri Aurobindo says, it is not our experience that by meditation alone it is possible to change the nature, nor has retirement from outward activity and work much profited those who have tried it. In many cases, it has been harmful. A certain amount of concentration, an inner aspiration in the heart, and an opening of the consciousness to the Mother's presence there and to the descent from above are needed. But without action, without work, the nature does not really change. It is there and by contact with men that is the test of the change in nature. And as for the work thus, there is no higher or lower work. All work is the same provided it is offered to the Divine Mother and done for her and in her power. This happens when the work is always associated with the Mother's thought, done as an offering to her, with the call to do it through her. All ideas of ego, all association of egoistic feelings with the Mother must disappear. One begins to feel the Divine Mother's force doing her work. The psychic grows through a certain inner attitude behind the work, and the being becomes open both to the psychic intuition and the influence from within and to the descent from above. Then the result of meditation can come through the work itself. The Mother, says our Lord, does not think it is good to give up all work and only read and meditate. Work is part of the yoga and it gives the best opportunity for calling down the Divine Mother's presence, the light and the power into the vital and its activities. It increases also the field and the opportunity of surrender. It is not enough to remember that the Mother is doing the work, that the work is the Mother's and the result also. You must learn to feel the Mother's forces behind you and open to the inspiration and guidance. Always to remember by an effort of the mind is too difficult, but if you get into the consciousness in which you feel always the Mother's force in you, supporting you, that is the true thing. The Mother does not usually give special advice such as you ask for in regard to the insurance company. You must learn to get the true inspiration in the mind's silence, says our Lord. Next subtopic, 2 stages of union with the Mother's force. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the feeling that all one does is for the divine, that all action is the Mother's, is a necessary step in experience, but one cannot remain in it, one has to go further. Those can remain in it who do not want to change the nature, but only have the experience of the truth behind it. Your action is according to the universal nature, and in that again it is according to your individual nature, and all nature is a force put out by the Divine Mother for the action of the universe. But as things are, it is an action of the ignorance and the ego, while what we want is an action of the divine truth, unveiled and undeformed by the ignorance and the ego. So, when you feel that your actions are all done by the force, the Shakti of the Mother, that is the true experience. But the will of the Mother is that all you do. should not be done by her force in nature as now, but her own direct force in the truth of her nature, the higher divine nature. So also it was correct what you thought afterwards, that unless there is this change, the experience that all you do is done by her cannot be altogether true. So it will not be permanently till then. For if it were permanent now, it might keep you in the lower action as it does many and prevent or retard the change. What you need as a permanent experience now is that of the mother's force working in you in all things to change this ignorant consciousness and nature into her divine consciousness and nature. It is the same with the truth about the instrument. It is true that each thing is an instrument of the cosmic Shakti, therefore of the mother. But the aim of the sadhana is to become conscious and perfect instrument instead of one that is unconscious and therefore imperfect. One can be a conscious and perfect instrument only when one is no longer acting in obedience to the ignorant push of the lower nature, but in surrender to the Divine Mother and aware of her higher force acting within oneself. So here too your intuition was perfectly true. But all this cannot be done in a day. So you are once more right in not being anxious or uneasy. One must be vigilant but not anxious and uneasy. The mother's force will act and bring the result in its own time, provided one offers all to her and aspires and is vigilant, calling and remembering her at all times, rejecting quietly all that stands in the way of the action of her transforming force. Your second view of this was more from the right angle of vision than the first. To say it is not I who have to act, so I need not mind, is to say too much. One has to act in so far as one has to aspire. Offer oneself, assent to the mother's working, reject all else, more and more surrender. All else will be done in time. There is no need for anxiety or depression or impatience. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, at first one must put one's will in union with the mother's will. At first one must put one's will in union with the mother's will, knowing that it is an instrument only and that it is the mother's will behind that alone can give the result. Afterwards, when one becomes consciously full of the mother's force working within, then the personal will is replaced by the divine. There should not be a general attitude, but each work should be offered to the Divine Mother so as to keep the attitude a living one all the time. There should be at the time of work no mediation, for that would withdraw the attention from the work, but there should be the constant memory of the one to whom you offer it. This is only a first process. For when you have constantly the feeling of a calm being within, concentrated in the sense of the divine presence, while the surface mind does the work, or when you can begin to feel always that it is the mother's force that is doing the work and you are only a channel or an instrument, then in place of the memory, there will have begun the automatic constant realization of the union, divine union. It works. Everybody is in the mother, but one must become conscious of that, not of the work only. Let me repeat, everybody is in the mother, but one must have become conscious of that, not of the work only. The only way to do the work, says our Lord, is to become aware of the conscious force behind that uses the mind, to learn to practice, and by practice to direct that force towards its object. And it is not easy to do either of these things at once, so one must first learn to live more deeply in the inner consciousness than you have done hitherto. And the conditions to follow the mother's will are to turn to her for light and truth and strength, and aspire that no other force shall influence or lead you, to make no demands or conditions in the vital, to keep a quiet mind ready to receive the truth, but not insisting on its own ideas and formations. Finally, to keep the psychic awake and in front so that you may be in constant contact and know truly what her will is. For the mind and vital can mistake other impulsions and suggestions for the divine will, but the psychic, once awakened, makes no mistake. A perfect perfection is only possible after supramentalization, but a relative good work is possible on the lower planes. If one is in contact with the divine, if one is in contact with the divine, careful, vigilant, conscious in mind, vital, and body, is the condition besides which is preparatory, almost indispensable for the supreme liberation. To be entirely sincere means to desire the divine truth only, to surrender oneself more and more to the Divine Mother, to reject all personal demand and desire other than this one aspiration, to offer every action in life to the divine and do it as the work given without bringing in the ego. This is the basis of the divine life. One cannot become altogether this at once, but if one aspires at all times, calls in always the aid of the divine Shakti with a true heart and straightforward will, one grows more and more into this consciousness, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo.